Hello everyone out there, JP Moss here. Um, Last night before I went into the forest today, I downloaded the app from Steve Huff's Portal, Ghost Portal Spirit Box app, which contains pre-recorded male-female voices that are being played backwards. Now, I have a PSP-7 Spirit Box, and it utilizes the radio skip on the box. And according to Steve, that this method is almost foolproof, that if anything comes up on his application, his app, it does not use a radio, it completely, immediately rules out DJ, static, and skip. I began asking Vanico questions. And, as part of what I do is I'll ask a series of questions and get answers and then go back and ask them again, just for science to, rule out a fluke. If I get it again the second and third time, then I can say that this is probably going to be, that's the message. If I get it the one time but can't get it again, it's like SETI scientists. They get a signal in deep space, but they can't call it alien until they get it the second and third, fourth, they can get it again. Okay. That's just the rule of science. In any case, I would take it not to heart till you get a second, third, fourth. I have posted videos that were one time she said something. So I asked her, the specific questions were targeted on something I'd asked in other sessions, and I had asked, are you alive or dead? And then I asked, where are you? And how'd you come to be there? In other words, why are we communicating on spirit boxes? Wait a minute. I remember meeting you when you were in military custody as a physical breathing person in front of me in the year 1992. What I got in response, I did not record it. I was just doing a live session with a pen and paper and just writing down whatever I could. The answer I got was, "Great, it's been a long day. She is not dead, but she has ascended." And I said, how did you come to ascend? In what way? Was it a technology? And she went on to tell me that it was through the sphere, and it sounded like Amenti or Amenti. And I said, how big is the sphere? Believing the sphere was a physical object of some kind. Thought I heard 90 feet. So I began doing some searching on Google, and I asked again, why are you there? And then she said, for your sake. Okay. And then she said, I'm going to help you ascend. This came over the box. Very impressive stuff. Steve Huff of Huff Paranormal. If you can, look up his app. One of them costs money. One of them is free. I suggest try the free one out. It was very impressive. Again, these are coming from pre-recorded memory bank voices of men and women played backwards, and was able to obtain those results. And so I says, okay, and I looked up Sphere of Amenti on Google, and the following came up. I'm going to yawn through this, so just bear with me. The Sphere of Amenti, race morphogenetic field created 550 million years ago to give the soul's fragments of Terra that were lost in the Earth's dimensional fields the pattern of the 12th strand DNA imprint through which they could re-evolve into their original and the word is Tyrannusium form. The sphere of Amenti served as a host matrix, surrogate morphogenetic field, or form-holding blueprint through which the lost souls of Terra could evolve and return home. The Amenti rescue mission represents a host soul matrix transplant on the species level. All present earthly strains of human have evolved through the morphogenetic imprint of the sphere of Amenti. The sphere of Amenti is an energy construct, a real thing, an item, just as our physical body is an energy construct as a real thing. Using interdimensional portal mechanics, the Terranates of the Covenant of Paleodor time traveled into Hu-1 to a time-space coordinate positions just after the cataclysm of Terra and the fall of man. With the assistance of the Raw Confederacy, RA, this gestalt of consciousness, genetic and planetary, morphogenetic field was entered into the remaining morphogenetic field of Earth through the 11th and 14th dimensions. This morphogenetic field of consciousness energetically took on the shape of a sphere and was called the sphere of Amenti, named after the portion of Terra's morphogenetic field that contained the imprint from Mu and its inhabitants. Amenti was the part of Terra's planetary core that connected energetically to the portals upon the continent of Mu. By placing the sphere of Amenti within the Earth's core, a wormhole or portal link was established between Earth's core in Dimension 2 and Terra's code in Dimension 5. Sphere of Amenti would create a stable portal structure that, once operational, would stabilize the other portals and allow open transit between Earth and Terra for beings possessing genetic codes that could endure portal transit. Through the sphere of Amenti, a bridge was constructed between Terra's pre-cataclysmic past and future cycles of time. The sphere of Amenti not only gave hope for the continued evolution of human and it says /Tyrannusium lineage, it held the hopes of ascension and continued evolution for Earth, Terra, and their seventh dimensional counterpart, Gaia. Through the sphere of Amenti, Earth became an ascension planet able to achieve dimensional ascension through re-evolution. Souls of Earth could re-evolve back into their original 12-strand DNA body type. From the sphere of Amenti, 5 smaller spheres were created, which became the morphogenetic patterns for 5 races known as the cloistered races. Collectively, the 5 cloistered races were called the Paleodorians, as they represented the beginning of the fulfillment of the Covenant of Paleodor. Ascension occurs through the portal from the sphere of Amenti. Through the dynamics of this process are complicated, the principle is simple. The portals within the sphere of Amenti served as a time portal structure through which the lost substance energetic thrust of Terra could be returned, and the lost souls of Terra could return to their original identity as souls incarnated upon the planet Terra. The portals within the morphogenetic field of the sphere of Amenti are known as the Halls of Amenti. They are dimensional passageways one must pass through in order to ascend from Earth out of the time matrix and dimensionalized reality. Now, it should be noted that in early videos I have my YouTube channel, I did the best I could to recall a lot of what Beniko told me from the 1992 encounter with her when she contacted me by phone prior to them bringing her to me in Texas. Yes, she contacted me by phone, but it's hotly debated how. She didn't say how. Some have suggested because she was telepathic that she had the capacity to transmit these thought waves into some phone line. And she was a physical being, not a spirit being, that was in the custody of Air Force Intelligence in 1992. An alien-human hybrid girl would be the most forensic term for her. She had spoke of many things. Now, what this passage does not talk about, but hits around, is what is planet Terra. And what does that mean 550 million years ago, the fall of man? Well, fill in the spaces. My memory fills in the spaces. Beniko spoke and told me that 600 million years ago, the human race was here on Earth. And they were destroyed. And planet Terra is what you call Mars. That's the Tyranosiums. They were a species that were a hybrid race connected to the human race here on Earth through the Zeta Reticulans. And the Zeta Reticulans were the ones that kicked off the Tyranosiums. So how old are the Zetas and why are they so old? Well, very simply, they're the drone race. One of several drone races created by the Mantids. And the Mantids predate them by billions and billions of years. So 600 million years is not old to the Zetas or the Mantids. It's difficult for any of you to get your heads wrapped around such thinking. But bear in mind the Earth, and there's very little evidence against what I'm postulating, that there was a human race on Earth 600 million years ago. People will say, well, no, wrong, fossil record says, fossil record, go to hell, because there is absolutely very little that they're ever going to say was whatever was going on 600 million years ago on this planet, simply because it's not there. I mean, they got layers, they've got a few little bits of fossils, but 600 million years is a long, long, long time. And there was a great cataclysm, a great war that destroyed both these worlds, the Earth and Mars, or planet Terra. And what the Zetas went out to do was to create this gate. And simply, the sphere of Amenti is an interdimensional gate. It's not something you can look at and point to the sky and say, that's the gate. You and I watching this video could be sitting in the sphere of Amenti. Just having any dealing with me puts you in the sphere of Amenti. You're already in that road to some ascension. Not because of me, but because of the way this dimensional gate works. It's very, very difficult to explain. And it's like a two-dimensional square on a flat plane is told that this cup comes along, this half sphere thing with an open to it, and is going to scoop up the square, and that's a gate. Well, first of all, a two-dimensional square wouldn't understand anything about what that is. And any other squares sitting around it watching its video don't realize they're also being caught up in that thing too. Beniko went on to say that the civilization that lived on planet Terra, cousins to the first humans here on Earth, helped in ascension issues then. They were very peaceful, but this other civilization came along and destroyed them out of jealousy. Now, for whatever reason, it took 600 million years to come around again for the human race to show up again. The Zetas went out of their way to recreate the alien-human hybrids and help in ascension and begin helping to ascend and go back to this process all over again. There are still remnants of the Tyranosium soul fragments, and many of you watching this video are indeed descendants of those first humans in the soul, not body. Soul-wise, many of you are the ancient human souls that are here. Many ascended and went on to take as you would call angelic form, and have come back and played that part in your Bible. They've come back to say to the humans, I've here to bring you good tidings of the birth of Jesus, or appeared to different people in the Bible and said they're this or that, but they said don't worship us, but they look human. And then that's just the role they've taken. So they're guiding the human race in development now, because this is the second run of it. Don't mess it up. So for whatever reason, it's a big galaxy. Everything was put on hold. All they had to do was build that gate, and anybody that was dead or deceased would then pass through that gate. It then ends up as the pearly gates of heaven in Christian lore. That's what it turned into. It was their idea of a... Like I said, it triggered a lot of... I knew that what she told me was not exclusively in her head and would never be known to anyone else. It is known. And then, of course, it goes on to say that these beings... This is just... listen, by the way, this all comes down here to me from a spirit box session where Benico's telling me this. I didn't get Sphere of Amenti out of my head. Well, no, that's right. This is what she told me. And it also follows under the law of one, where this race followed under the law of one, or unity of one. Lots of strange websites about this come up. A lot of really weird stuff on YouTube, where there's like some music, Sphere of Amenti Ascension, and it was like very... it was like... I was like, what the hell? And in old folklore mythologic, the Sphere of Amenti was the place where yeah, and again, in that 1992 Contact, and even in my book, she talks about the seventh dimension. In fact, that's why my Facebook page, you can group, you can go to my group if you want to join it, is called the Seventh Dimension Group. It's named after what she was talking about, the seventh dimension, and the You've heard the Arcturians, they mate in the seventh dimension. They're quite ascended. The Arcturians, or some say the Zetas and Arcturians are different species. But they all, I don't know, they have the same characteristics and do the same things. They're the ones that made the hybrids, or started taking human DNA with their DNA and made these beings that act as intermediaries, teachers, guides, and they're called Bashar, channeled by Daralenka, says Sasani, living light. But in here it gives them various names meaning the same thing, living light, which is interesting. And that Tara, T-A-R-A, has a connection to Ireland, which then the articles go on to talk about the connection between Ireland and the Tuatha Danann, or what you would know as the fairies. That's all rather interesting, since indeed the forest I go into now is said to be a fairy forest here in Felixstowe. There are many forests in England, but some have legends of fairies being seen for decades and eons in these forests. Rather interesting stuff, that it all ties back to that Sphere of Amenti and the Tuatha Danann, this ancient race that lived here on Earth and the fairies in the Felixstowe Forest and the fairy tree. It's all very, very interesting stuff. It's all connected, and how these fairies are. And Benico did say, in fact, we've been here for centuries. Your species knows us as fairies. And what? Yeah, they time travel, and that talks about that too. That the ones that made them move through time, the matrix of time a lot, and the reasons why they go into past. They get recreated in recent times, but they've been running back through the recent several thousand years of human history. The Tibetans, Hindus have had interaction with them 2,500 years ago. And of course, the 20th century, the alien abduction phenomena, which I don't think radar dish antennas in North America is really going to be any bit of it. It's like an insect throwing up a bit of a dirt clog against a giant bulldozer at this point. That little radio dish is extremely quite insignificant to the overall plan of what's going on. You've heard the strange sounds that have been, that are heard over the internet. The last few years have been heard. And I don't know if I can get this to play or not. No, I can't. Anyway, you've heard, it's called Strange Trumpet Sounds from the Sky Caught on Live TV. You've heard these, look them up. And I found a connection to that too, that these trumpet sounds are, some have tried to explain them as different things, but like magnetic aberrations from the use of too many mobile phones or things like that. I'm going to say here and now that's the dimensional gate, the sphere of Amenti, and you're hearing it. So in recent times, that ancient interdimensional gate is actually being heard in the skies over the world. And people talk about the age of ascension, and the need to ascend is now. So the 2020s, I would say, is going to be a very fascinating time of alien contact and awareness, whether governments like it or not. And these sounds are
some of this on film.
This is from that video.
What is it? What's that noise, Eddie? What? What's that noise? Looks like it scared my dog off. Sid. Go inside. What do you think that is?
I think I'll stop there. That's on the internet. I think what you're getting is a sound. Of the gate being heard. Now, when my memories resurfaced in 2010, this Stargate, interdimensional Stargate, burst around the world. It burnt. And when that happened, it activated, within some of us a lot of DNA and recall, and we began remembering the ones we're connected to and don't remember that are going to help in that ascension process. So, as I've said in other videos, as a starseed, I have this memory of an alien life or alien soul. These are ancient memories and very ancient stuff. And so it all makes sense that Vanika would marry her soul up with me in that regard and become one. And that law of the one is also part of the sphere of Amenti and the order of the race that the planet Terra, or the Terraniisms, I can't say the name, they practiced the law of the one. And so that was Beniko's also, a lot of the message that she got was unity and oneness, and one, the law of one. And the Zetas have come back to resurrect this extinct species into this alien hybrid race that are here. And because they're here, well, people are living and dying, and the ascension is happening. And so what you're hearing in those videos, people can't explain what are those sounds in the sky is, but I'd share this research with you and my findings. I call it research, but it's findings, it's discoveries. Of course, it says here, NASA explains the origin of the apocalyptic noise heard from the skies. From elite readers. It says it's a very peculiar phenomena that received minimal hype until this year. This strange noise had been heard all over the world. But NASA has explained that neither angels or aliens have anything to do with the event, and said that the noises are but a natural phenomena that occur all the time. Spokesman from NASA, who was quoted by local U.S. media, said, "We could actually hear the typical strains of symphony and the sound of strange storm coming from our planet, not an alien spaceship. The noises are inaudible to human ears unless the volume is high. This background noise is similar to what we hear from sci-fi movies, although this comes directly from Earth." But that does not explain what they are, NASA. Yeah, and this someone underneath the article says, why have we not noticed these sounds until now? Well, exactly. And this lady says, for obvious reasons, I don't expect you to believe me, but I heard them myself with several other people few months ago. Now I'm looking for answers. It definitely wasn't a hoax, although it was creepy and probably never leave the back of my mind. I'm the only one of us who cares to find the answer. NASA let me down with their statement given as an explanation. I hope. Well, in fact, NASA validates the sphere of Amenti in that regard. It says the sounds are coming from Earth. Well, in fact, the sphere of Amenti was put in the Earth. Thank you, NASA. Well, I am wearing their hat. That's very interesting, because you've just validated the ancient text of the sphere of Amenti. You've just validated it. So, I mean, NASA didn't explain it. They just said it's from the Earth. But that would be the gate being heard while this ascension process is ongoing. As I said in one of my videos, I said Vanika wants me to go with her. That all comes together. All of it ties in what that means and what my soul is and what she's doing and why she's there. And she said it's for your sake. And you will pass through the sphere of Amenti. And it's this higher ascension, transformation into a higher genetic code and mind, and moving up, and to be with her, and all that's there. That I'm lost. Like many of us out there searching for the answers and having these experiences, we're part of all this. This is our family, and they're bringing us home. So, you know, I'm not making a video to say it's me, I'm special, it's all about Jason, it's about you who have the same experiences, and we're on our way home. For the rest of you, it's a learning process, it's something you will learn, and eventually all of the human race will benefit from the experiences that the rest of us are having through just this shared energy that comes from something like this. So it is quite interesting. It is very interesting, but that's what it is. It's an interdimensional gate that she moved through. Now, what it has to do with fairy forest? Well, my son and I are going to upload a spirit box session in that forest that accompanies the infrared video I did yesterday. And my son, he's sweet, he's 12, and he was holding his tablet and he was filming, you know, videotaping me, or videoing me while I was talking to her in the forest. She said there were hundreds of them in the forest watching us. And that forest was, in fact, part of this matrix of this gate. So it's like the first or second step of a gate. It's a very strange thing, a gate. I mean, it's not like any kind of a gate you could look at, or like I said, that you could point to and say, there it is, that's the construct, let's go up and talk to it. It could be all around us. It could be surrounding us in all directions. What the hell is that? No, I'm tired. I think I'm seeing things. What was that? Hello? Question is, what happens the further we go into such a gate? What happens around us? What do we see? What do we begin to see? My God. There's no sense in turning the video off. I'm not scared, but there is a sense of, wait a minute. So yeah, it's all connected. researcher. Beniko, are you here? Can you, Beniko, before I shut this video down, appear somehow behind me? Can you make a noise that can be heard on this recording? Beniko, can you, I'm asking you, I want you to make some kind of a noise audibly right now, please, on this recording. Can you say, I'm here? And can you manifest some kind of a light here in this space? Oh, well. Can you manifest again some kind of a light here, please? Right here. Back here. I'm just being very nice, please, right here. Okay. Something I can see, something I can see on camera. Can you do something right now, please? Right now behind me. Right now, please. Right here.